To beat Jon Jones, you need to have fast eyes, fast reactions, fast reflexes. Stipe just doesn't have the reflexes anymore.
No.
That someone like a 31-year-old, almost prime fighter has. And from that performance tonight, I know firsthand that I can do.
Is this the end of Jon Jones? Whispers from UFC insiders suggest the legendary Bones might be nearing the final chapter of his storied career. But what's fueling the speculation? One name stands out. Tom Aspinall, the British powerhouse, brings a rare blend of speed, knockout power, and raw hunger, traits that make him a legitimate threat to the reigning GOAT. Is Jon Jones genuinely wary of the rising star, or is this just another carefully crafted UFC narrative designed to stir up hype? In this deep dive, we analyze the potential super fight between Jones and Aspinall, breaking down their strengths, vulnerabilities, and what's truly at stake in a clash that could redefine the heavyweight landscape.
I'm really worried about the Tom fight. I'm really worried about the Herrera fight. That's what I want to do. That's what I want to do, and I think if the UFC wants to have me back, then I think that's the fight they'll make. I've been really clear about my intentions. That's what I want, and I mean, I just feel like anybody would understand at this point. Like, I'll retire the heavyweight belt if I have to. It's like, dude, give the guy what he wants at the end of the day, And I'm not talking to Dana directly. I feel like I'm at a place now where, like I want to take what I find to be super fights. I don't want to fight dangerous up-and-comers anymore. I want to fight dangerous, established champion.
That's the only fight in my career where I've been almost close to 100%. And none of my injuries hurt, and I trained really hard where I was like overconfident. I thought I was going to beat the shit out of that kid. I really thought I was.
Is that the loss that hurts the most?
No, that's not the one that hurt the most. Jon Jones turned out to be like one of the best fighters in the world. He got me with one of my most weaknesses, the rear naked choke. That's not the one that hurt me the most. My last fight's the one that hurt me.
One of those challenging guys to deal with, and I think that he's talking about retiring, but will he? If the Aspinall thing is really flying out there, I personally think Jon challenges himself and takes the fight.
I'd heard a rumor that Jon Jones wanted $30 million to fight Tom Aspinall, and I did hear that the UFC said yes, but it is not true. Dana contacted me and said that rumor's bullshit. Apparently, Jon is thinking about retiring, and he should. He's going to have to someday. He should think about it. Give the man all the time he wants. He can fight whenever he wants to fight. That's Jon Jones. He's the GOAT. So leave him alone. If he decides one day to come back and he wants to fight Tom Aspinall for the heavyweight title, the question is, like, how long are you allowed to hold on to the title before they start having that conversation? Now, he just knocked out Stipe Miocic, so give the man some months. Give the man 5 or 6 months. Just leave him the fuck alone. But at a certain point in time, you have to decide who the heavyweight champion is. And if Tom is the interim heavyweight champion and Jon decides he doesn't want to fight anymore, he could do that and then come back in a year and fight for the title. He can do whatever he wants. But he might decide, you know what, had an unbelievable career, never lost, except the disqualification loss, and to a rule that has since been reversed. He's the GOAT.
When you put the resumes next to each other, his resume is far superior to mine. The risk reward for the both of us. His risk is, he has everything.
So on the skill differentials, where would you say he has the edge and where do you have the edge?
He's amazing at everything.
Are you better than him at any one discipline?
No, but I'm way younger and way more athletic and way bigger. I possess a power that he's never seen before or even come close to. But like I said, I completely agree with everything that he says in terms of resume, but it's not about Jon's resume. It's about who's the best in the world right now, and I think it's me.
Which would make you the greatest of all time?
No, it wouldn't. It wouldn't.
If you beat the GOAT.
No, it wouldn't.
Aren't you the new GOAT?
No, it'd make me the best heavyweight right now. That's all I want.
This is the best heavyweight in the world. Just 6 seconds into the fight, Tom Aspinall lands a huge leg kick that hurts Sergey Pavlovich. Aspinall lands another calf kick while staying in range. Pavlovich lands a massive left hook and backs up Aspinall against the cage. But notice what Aspinall does. He feints forward, lifts his jab hand a little bit, and Pavlovich reacts by throwing a left hook. A few seconds later, Tom feints with a jab, and Pavlovich again reacts by throwing a left hook. Now Aspinall knows what he needs to do. Aspinall steps in and feints a jab, and again Pavlovich throws that left hook, but straight.
Amazing self-confidence. I mean, he just exudes calm, almost chilling self-confidence.
If you're a fighter, you better have that.
Yeah.
That's what you'd have to have. If you want to be one of the all-time greats, that's exactly what you have to have.
I interviewed Tom Aspinall in London.
Another one.
He wants to fight Jon Jones.
He wants to fight everybody, man.
He thinks he'll beat Jon Jones.
Yes, he does. I love it. I love that. And a young, aggressive, talented heavyweight that he actually wants to fight all the best. The problem in this business is you have guys that say a lot of things publicly, but behind the curtains don't mean it, don't really want these fights. Tom Aspinall is not that guy. Tom Aspinall wants to fight all the best in the world, and I love that.
How good is it?
Very good. We're going to find out, though. We make this Jon Jones fight, and obviously a fight like that for a young, talented heavyweight, and if he can win, he can beat Jon Jones. It's life-changing.
He's got an amazing self-confidence. I mean, he just exudes calm, almost chilling self-confidence.
If you're a fighter, you better have that.
Yeah.
That's what you'd have to have. If you want to be one of the all-time greats, that's exactly what you have to have.
UFC President Dana White just hinted that this super fight is closer than ever. In a heated interview with Piers Morgan, White was asked about Aspinall's chances against Jones. His response? "We're going to find out if Aspinall can beat Jon Jones. It's life-changing."
I interviewed Tom Aspinall in London. He wants to fight Jon Jones.
He wants to fight everybody, man.
He thinks he'll beat Jon Jones.
Yes, he does. I love it. I love that. And a young, aggressive, talented heavyweight that he actually wants to fight all the best. The problem in this business is you have guys that say a lot of things publicly, but behind the curtains don't mean it, don't really want these fights. Tom Aspinall is not that guy. Tom Aspinall wants to fight all the best in the world, and I love that.
How good is he?
Very good. We're going to find out, though. We make this Jon Jones fight, and obviously a fight like that for a young, talented heavyweight, and if he can win, he can beat Jon Jones. It's life.
Dana,
We're not going to start fighting at an event, are we? Well, I hope not. It was good. It was all right, mate. I enjoyed it.
That was the first time you met him, wasn't it?
First time I met him. He's nowhere near as big as I thought. I thought he was a lot taller, but I guess when you're fighting light heavyweights for your full career and you're 6'4", you look really tall. But I'm a full-grown heavyweight, aren't I? There's no chance he's as big as me. Nowhere near as big as me. But size doesn't matter, really. We're both massive guys, but I'll take that one. I think I'll beat him, definitely.
Jon's gonna come back. He's gonna take the hardest fight of his career, who they say is the greatest heavyweight we've ever had. Ends up getting hurt, can't do the fight. Insert a gentleman, Sergey Pavlich. You then told Jon Jones that he would not fight Sergey Pavlich. In Sergey's very next fight, he went down to a British gentleman called Tom Aspinall. I mean, as sure as night follows day, Tom Aspinall is the guy. And Jon's looking around and going, hey, one thing at a time, and I got this thing. And while you guys are trying to pull me over in the Alex Pereira direction, and you're pulling him in the Tom direction, I can't let you succeed. After Jon fights Stipe, guys, he fights Tom Aspinall. Well, what if Stipe beats him? Go ahead and beat him. Stipe is sincerely retiring after this fight. So if Stipe beats Jon, and we now have a vacated title, it's Jon versus Tom. If Jon gets over on Stipe, Tom, who's going to be sitting right there in the front row with his nice, beautiful, shiny belt, and Jon standing there talking to Joe Rogan with his nice, shiny belt, the fight will be made right there.
Let's bring hid under a cage for hours to avoid a drug test. There was a story told by Chael Sonnen that prior to Jon's first fight against Daniel Cormier in January of 2015, he apparently hid under the cage at the Jackson Wink gym for 6 to 8 hours to avoid the Nevada State Athletic Commission, who were there that day to do drug testing. For years, this story was thought to be a rumor, especially because it was told by Chael. But in 2020, the truth was revealed after Israel Adesanya mentioned the story in a tweet. Jon responded by confirming that he did hide under the cage because he just smoked a blunt and he was worried that he was going to fail his test for weed. The funny thing is that cannabis is not prohibited in out-of-competition drug testing, but it is prohibited in competition, which is hours before and after fight night. This means Jon hid under the cage for nothing, unless he was hiding something else.
I think Tom might have the best chance of anybody to beat Jon right now. But that being said, I still think Jon wins the fight just because of his wrestling. I think he puts, Tom on his back and is able to nullify his jiu-jitsu from being top position with his elbows and control. What does Jon win to take that fight, though? He goes out there and beats Tom. Is it really going to make or break his career? I don't think anybody cares.
But other than that, Jon Jones behind the scene is not a guy that turns down fights.
Would you guarantee 100% we see that fight?
Yeah, I'll say 100%.
You're the former baddest man on the planet. Would you consider that to be Francis right now, or would you consider that to be Jon Jones right now?
I mean, I would go Francis just because, he's doing great. With his boxing, I would go Francis.
Thing you can do to stop me from coming at you round after round with the most malicious techniques I know. You will lose this fight, Daniel Cormier. I want you to believe it. Every ounce of training you put in leading up to this fight will be a waste of your life.
I know what to do. Then come back for you.
been inside the Octagon with Jon Jones. You've been inside the Octagon with Francis Ngannou. If we ever got that fantasy matchup, who do you think would win? Who was more powerful inside the cage?
Well, Francis, yeah, he's got great power. He's getting better every fight. With Jones, he's one of the best of all time, if not the best of all time. He's just smart, real tricky. But with Francis, always comes with a game plan, but also he's got thunder in his fist. So that's a tough fight. I think Jon would keep his distance. He do well, get him down to the ground. But if Francis connects, all over.
Well, you're the former baddest man on the planet. Would you consider that to be Francis right now, or would you consider that to be Jon Jones right now?
That's. I would go Francis just because he's doing great. With his boxing, I would go Francis.
Who do you think would win? Who was more powerful inside the cage?
Well, Francis, yeah, he's got great power. He's getting better every fight. With Jones, he's as good as one of the best of all time, if not the best of all time. He's just smart, real tricky. But with Francis, always comes with a game plan, but also he's got thunder in his fist. So that's a tough fight. I think Jon would keep his distance. He do well, get him down to the ground.
He was quite special because he stopped me. He did what Tyson Fury couldn't done, And he wasn't my day, and he's just way better than me.
That daddy decide the paper for you, so you can come back. Tell your daddy to release you.
Francis Ngannou reacts to Jon Jones beating Stipe Miocic. Francis Ngannou was impressed by Jon Jones finishing Stipe Miocic at UFC 309. Ngannou tweeted, "Jones looked great out there tonight. Congrats, Johnny boy. I see you."
It's the video of him and Cormier, and they don't know that they're live being filmed.
Oh, my God.
And Cormier says, "I had to come over there and spit in your face right now."
I wish they would let me next door so I could spit in your face.
And Jon Jones says, "I would kill you."
I would absolutely kill you if you ever did something like that.
You could never kill me.
I'm not saying it. I would kill you.
I would literally kill you if you spit in my face.
Yeah, let's try that, Jon.
Jon Jones has like German Shepherd dogs that do all the attack shit, shoots guns. Jon Jones has a very dark side. 3 years, comes back and beats Cyril Gane like that. Easily. In my opinion, he does the same thing to Francis. What? 100%. Does the same thing to Francis. Francis didn't want to fight Jon Jones.
Do you believe Jon Jones was afraid of Francis?
Not only is Jon Jones not afraid of Francis, Jon Jones is the baddest fighter to ever live. Ever. In any combat sport. Jon Jones is undefeated. Never lost, and he went through murderer's row.
Yeah.
Then he goes out for 3 years, right? Sits out for 3 years. Comes back and beats Cyril Gane like that, easily. In my opinion, he does the same thing to Francis.
What?
100%. Does the same thing to Francis. Jon Jones, Francis didn't want to fight Jon Jones. Jon Jones is the scariest, most badass fighter of all.
Who do you think would win? Who was more powerful inside the cage?
Well, Francis, yeah, he's got great power. He's getting better every fight. With Jones, he's as good as one of the best of all time, if not the best of all time. He's just smart, real tricky. But with Francis, always comes with a game plan, but also he's got thunder in his fist. So that's a tough fight. I think Jon would keep his distance. He do well, get him down to the ground. But if Francis,
he keeps saying he doesn't want Aspinall.
Aspinall need that fight. I don't need it. When you look at it, pretty much true. There's nothing that he's going to make winning that fight if it's not money. But for Aspinall, that will be everything.
Would you rather see him face Aspinall, or would you rather see him face Pereira?
Aspinall will be a more challenging fight because Aspinall respond to a ground game better than Pereira. Aspinall will respond better in the wrestling than Pereira. You can do whatever.
But other than that, Jon Jones behind the scene is not a guy that turns down fights.
Would you guarantee 100% we see that fight?
Yeah, I'll say 100%.
The equation, the interim young guy coming in, interim heavyweight champion. If that matchup does get booked with him and Jon Jones, what's the best advice you'd give Tom Aspinall?
Don't do what I did.
Avoid the liver shot.
Yeah, what are you gonna do? But I think Tommy, that guy, he's super tough and he hits hard. He moves well. He's a big man. I think that he stays calm on the situation, and whatever happens, he just stays calm. I think he'll be fine. He picks his shots. He's smart what he does, and I think he'll do fine.
Many fighters said when Jon Jones goes against you in the Octagon, they forgot their game plan. So how do you control your emotions, Mr. Tom?
Well, experience, for one. Breathing exercises, another good way. Training hard in the gym. training smart in the gym and having that confidence that you've done everything that you need to do to win a fight. So sometimes it's just down to the MMA gods if you win or not. Do you know what I mean? You've done everything in the gym. Sometimes you just got to relax and enjoy it when you get in there.
UFC 309 took place this past Saturday, and Jon Bones Jones once again reminded everybody that he not only is arguably the greatest fighter of all time, but he can make the case that he is the best fighter living today. He knocked out Stipe Miocic, the former two-time UFC heavyweight champion, by a spinning back kick in the third round. It was unbelievable. Even though Jon has been dominant, he knows that Tom Aspinall does present real issues for Jon Jones. As well as Jon Jones has looked at heavyweight, Tom Aspinall is just as good, if not better. We haven't seen Tom be tested by a guy like Jon, but if anybody can ever definitively beat Jon Jones, I think Tom Aspinall is that guy.
On the equation, the interim young guy coming in, interim heavyweight champion. If that matchup does get booked with him and Jon Jones, what's the best advice you'd give Tom Aspinall?
Don't do what I did.
Avoid the liver shot.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, what are you going to do? But I think Tommy, that guy, he's super tough, and he hits hard, he moves well, he's a big man. I think that he stays calm under the situation, and whatever happens, he just stays calm. I think he'll be fine. He pitched.
Questions that Schmo wants to ask you, because now you've been inside the Octagon with Jon Jones, you've been inside the Octagon with Francis Ngannou. If we ever got that fantasy matchup, who do you think would win? Who was more powerful inside the cage?
Well, Francis, yeah, he's got great power. He's getting better every fight. With Jones, he's as good as one of the best of all time, if not the best of all time. He's just smart, real tricky, but with Francis, he always comes with a game plan, but also he's got thunder in his fist. So that's a tough fight. I think Jon would keep his distance. He do well, get him down to the ground, but it's over.
Well, you're the former baddest man on the planet. Would you consider that to be Francis right now, or would you consider that to be Jon Jones right now?
That's. I mean, I go Francis just because he's tearing it up. He's doing great, and with his boxing.
Brock Lesnar or Stipe Miocic?
Stipe Miocic.
Stipe Miocic or Cain Velasquez?
Ooh. Stipe Miocic.
Stipe Miocic or Alistair Overeem?
Stipe.
Stipe Miocic or Daniel Cormier?
Stipe again.
Stipe Miocic or Alex Pereira?
Stipe.
Stipe Miocic or Tom Aspinall?
Stipe.
Stipe Miocic or Cyril Gahn?
Stipe.
Stipe Miocic or Jon Jones?
Let's go with Stipe again.
Stipe Miocic or Renan Ferreira?
I think Renan is very young. He's talented, but he's young, so we go with Stipe.
Stipe Miocic or Francis Ngannou?
Francis Ngannou.
On Jon Jones versus Tom Aspinall, and if they fought, who do you think would win?
Jon Jones. Tom Aspinall have the advantage of the really fast attacks, but if the Jon will be prepared if he will have the good preparation, he will defend every his attack from Tom.
And it's weird how the fan base switches up, because Jon's been on top, #1, 20 years, and then a new big guy comes around, Jon goes to heavyweight, and they just forget history.
That's it, man. This is the truth. In this age, I think many people just don't care about what's happened. They really fast forget about the history.
It'd be nice to see that one. We're all not sure if it's gonna happen, but I'm sure Jon will come back, and Dana said he's not fighting anyone unless it's Tom Aspinall if he comes back.
Head movement.
Anderson Silva, prime Anderson Silva.
Footwork.
Frankie Edgar, I think.
Head kicks.
Leon Edwards, come on.
Creativity.
Prime Conor McGregor.
Speed.
Myself, I think.
Power.
Francis Ngannou.
Trash talking.
I'm not really into trash talking. I wouldn't want to trash talk like anyone, but I think The best trash talker in the game was Conor McGregor, definitely.
Mentality.
Khabib.